we have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest.
I am a revolutionary, and you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people.
As a councilwoman, do you think you should really be in handcuffs? Does that send a good message? You're breaking the law?
This is about political leadership. All the best activists in the past and in the present have put their life on the line to fight for the rights of workers.
They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Well, that was fun. Oh boy. Good evening. Welcome to Extra Bulla. Oh boy. It's Potluck Thursday. Potluck means no guest tonight, so this is probably going to be a relatively short live stream. And the damn robots decided to go against me. This shit was working earlier. Anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're having a great evening. Internet crapped out earlier, right as I started streaming, so hence the tardiness. So I won't make you suffer with all that. And plus, I got this new ring light thing. I'm pretty sure you can see like these Aquaman circles in my glasses, but I'll try to keep my head down. You know, like this. Maybe this works. All right. So this is basically a train wreck waiting to happen here at the old show. Tonight we're going to try and talk about these Republican states that are ending I got distracted because Steve Cutler is in the chat. Hey, Steve. And he said, I brought some pot. You're in luck. Hey, Mariana's here too. How you doing, darling? All right. So I got this new ring light thing here. You can probably see the big, if you look in one of the eyes here, I'll try to isolate it. There's one. Oh, I look like the Target dog or Petey from Little Rascals. So anyway, we might have to endure this because anyway, this show, just like me and probably just like a lot of us, is a work in progress. Anyway, and plus I'm a little stoned myself. So, you know, no, that was the reefer too, Steve. So anyway, So we're going to talk about these Republican states that are ending federal unemployment benefits, and it's not really working out the way they think it's going to happen. We're going to get to that shortly, but since I got nobody on here to bounce off of to hear all their cool stories, I'll share a little information with you about the show. Next week, I believe, we're going to try and screen Citizen Shane. It's a documentary / mockumentary from 2004 involving a good friend of mine, Shane Ballard, who ran for sheriff of Lowndes County, and that's located in the northeast part of Mississippi. Pretty much the buckle of the Bible Belt, if you will, and he ran on a pro-pornography platform, which I thought was pretty wild. And I was his campaign manager, so we're going to screen that. I found an old copy. It's not very good looking. I'm going to try and clean up the sound, get some buddies from around back in the day who knew Shane, who were involved with the making of Citizen Shane. We'll get together, hopefully, and we'll screen Citizen Shane. It's only about an hour long, and then afterwards, hopefully, we'll have some of the peeps on here to talk about that. So, I guess while you're here, we'll do a little business too. So now we're streaming live here on YouTube, but I also have a channel on Odyssey. Delicious. So weird up here. I'm gonna go on a tangent for a second. So it was like humid as fuck, right, for like 3 or 4 days, and everything in this place was just like wet. It was like a freaking jungle in here, right? I had a dry towel that I put out. At the end of the day, it was wet, and I hadn't even used it. Right? It was like that reverse, that evil Star Trek universe, only the towel was started off dry and ended up wet, but not for me. And it had a Spock goatee, which is a random reference there. Sorry, Marianne. It's going to be that kind of show tonight. It's going to be some pretty random shit going on tonight. So like I said, I don't know how long we're going to go on. We'll just figure it out. We got some funny stuff. I had some old commercials from back in the 90s last week. They were my sponsors. There was some controversy that one of the commercials, they actually murdered aliens that were quote unquote Martians, and so that was kind of a bad beat, and I didn't want to get canceled. So we got some different sponsors this week. We'll share that with you, and we'll be talking about later at the end how they're thinking of rebooting Highlander, the greatest film of all time, and I'm like, okay, well, if we're gonna do that, let's redo the Mona Lisa. Okay, you want to redo Mount Everest? All right, since we're gonna fuck with national treasures, and I'm not talking about the movie National Treasure, although that movie's kind of cool, but it's no Highlander. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. And Peepaw, we've unearthed the final Peepaw's house. You mentioned Peepaw and then gunfire. Or is it fireworks? That's a little game we play in New York City. I'm sure a lot of places do that too. They hear the pop, 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 and they're like, is it gunfire or is it fireworks? Anywho, as long as they don't come around here, I don't care. So yeah, we're going to do that at the end, but the Highlander shit and Peepaw is going to be back. And we'll do that thing. That'll what the kids call a time filler. But I just want to start off the show tonight. Thank everybody that's, supports the show, likes it. Appreciate it. And this thing could go tits up in any second, literally and figuratively. So, hanging out watching the show. Maybe you watch the videos later. That's fine too. I don't care. However you ingest it, consume your media. I hate when people say that, when they say consume your media. It's like, you're not eating it. You know, it's not on a plate. You know, you're watching it. Whatever. I digress. So, if you like the show, you know, I'll do the obligatory, please like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. People talk about the algorithms a lot, and I didn't really know what that meant until recently. I heard about a lot of channels, smaller channels getting throttled, not really getting the exposure to new people like these bigger shows have been receiving. And you know, it's we have to spread these shows word of mouth. That's going to be you know, that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with. So anyway, and thanks, Mariana. I totally lost my train of thought. No, we got to help these small channels. You know, I'll give shout outs to the shows that I watch, in no particular order of importance, just off the top of my head. I do enjoy the Jimmy Dore show. Some people don't care for his bluntness. I was born in Chicago. My family lived in Chicago for years. Even though I didn't live there myself, I know how it is to be a Chicago person. So I kind of relate in that kind of way. But, you know, so I like Jimmy Dore. I like watching newer shows to me in the last year that really caught my attention. Was the Convo Couch and Slow News Day, Frank Analysis. When I saw them all on the ground in D.C., they were there for Force to Vote. They were there for Julian Assange, and I just think that these are journalists, the people who are on the ground asking questions of people, getting the raw footage of what's going on. These are journalists, and we need to support them. And there's many more. I got a little stoner head here, so I'm not quite sure. You know, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's they're covering these stories that the mainstream media obviously isn't, and I guess that kind of goes into this little rant I wanted to talk about, like what's going on with TYT and Jimmy Dore and you know. Oh, thanks, Steve. I appreciate you. All this business that's going on. You know, you got some people like, yeah, this is a distraction. Come on, we got business to attend to, which is true. It is a distraction. But then you have other people who are saying, you know, look, yeah, I know this looks kind of petty, but you can't have TYT and these outlets pushing this propaganda and accusing people of being like, you know, Russian puppets and sellouts and, you know, traitors and all this shit. You got to push back on that stuff, unfortunately, because shows like, you know, Sam Cedar and TYT, they all have big mouthpieces, you know, and they have big audiences, allegedly. I just go by what the subscriber count says on their pages, you know. Whether those that people actually are still there and just stopped watching and just didn't bother to unsubscribe is just one of those things. Because like, I don't know how it is in your feed on YouTube, but like on the left side, it'll show you all the channels, right? You know, all the ones that you're subscribed to. Damn, it's like Arizona in here, I swear. I tell you, man, it was humid as fuck for like 4 days, and then like a switch flipped, and it was like, right? So anyway, so you got people on the, you know, so you got people that say this is petty, stop this shit, and then you got petty. Oh shit, Orange Duke in the chat. Fuck this. Yeah, well, I... Is he still there? Is he still there? God damn you, Orange Duke! Anyway, like I was saying, and you asked a good question, which side am I on? I mean, you kind of need both, actually. You need to push back on these fuckers that are trying to spread this bullshit on people that are just trying to, tell it like it is. You don't like Jimmy's way of doing things. I mean, I grew up listening to, Bill Hicks and Sam Kinison and people like that, and Andrew Dice Clay. I was desensitized by the time I was 15. You know what I mean? The first porno movie I watched, I didn't watch it like it was, oh God, what is this? I was like, yeah, I figured that's where that goes. Because I was all desensitized to that shit. That's what the 80s did to people, desensitized people. So anyway, but like for to go back to Jimmy Dore, sometimes he gets things, he gets in the heat. What I've noticed is sometimes he gets in the heat of the moment sometimes, and he'll blurt out some stuff that may not be factually true, and sometimes he catches it or somebody catches him and fixes it. Yeah. So quit distracting me, Duke. So anyway, so long story short is that you have to push back on people who are trying to push propaganda, right? And you have to understand the reasoning why they're pushing this propaganda. I'm sure we've heard to death how TYT got, money from Jeffrey Katzenberg and Buddy Roemer. We know all that. That's been, that horse has been beaten to death and then some by certain people. But we have to call out these people like Sam Cedar, like David Dole, like Mike Figueredo. They're fence sitters. And that's the thing. It's like, if we want to get this real movement going, we can't have fence sitters. We can't have people just who tell you, well, we got us, basically the one who's telling you these people in Congress are our allies. No, they're selling you a bill of goods. It's all bullshit. All right. So, but you have people who depend on that bullshit flowing, like your Sam Cedars, who, have, contracts with Peacock, but are also MSNBC contributors. And your Ben Dixons, who are the wannabes who tag along with Sam Cedar. And then you have people like Dole and Figueredo, who will tell you, we need to do Medicare for all. We need to do all these progressive things, but we need to trust these people that are in Congress, right? And if people wonder why I'm doing this, the chat's over here. I got something else queued up over here. I'm the only one running this ship. I'm Captain Kirk. I'm Mr. Sulu. I'm Uhura. Spock, everything. So anyway, this is a leaky boat, but this boat will get us to shore, hopefully. But the point of all that is these folks make money off of telling you that pragmatism is the way to go, because all they've ever known is this old system of, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or in a lot of cases, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. They say, trust the system, trust the progress. These folks have a plan. They're going to bring a ruckus. They're going to, bring a revolution. They're going to do this and that. And the one thing you can look at is, okay, well, I don't really give a shit if you're working behind the scenes and, doing these backroom deals or whatever. I don't really care that you're on Twitter trying to tweet at people and ask them these bullshit, rhetorical questions that is just basically poverty porn. I mean, you could do all that stuff. But if you're not providing results that the people who elected you want, then that's it. What are you doing? You're wasting, hey, Lucky Burrito, what's up? Thank all y'all for coming out. I swear to God, we've never had this many people in here at one time. It's a very small room. But like your Sam Cedars and everything, it's like, no, you got to trust the system. Keep watching us. We know what's going on. We're the smarty pantses. We know all this theory. We know, all this history about, what's going on in the past. And that's like all well and good. It's good to have knowledge of history and all, but, but if you don't really know what's going on with, a poor person, somebody who's homeless, somebody who's living in their car right now, somebody who's about to get evicted in a few days. If you don't know somebody like that personally, or you yourself have not experienced some form of like poverty or, destitution, where you think, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, the big S, starts creeping in your mind. And these fools that are on here that are making money selling, like, I always say, Sam Cedar sells this bullshit cereal on his show, and people say, well, that's kind of like a random thing. But I actually when I used to watch his show, he'd have these little commercials, and one of them was this shitty cereal that he was trying to sell. It was probably made out of cardboard and dried assholes. Anyway, to each his own, or her own, or their own. But these are propaganda merchants. They peddle, they peddle propaganda, and that's what keeps their financial boats afloat. You know what I'm saying? When you see TYT sending out these emails saying, we got a fundraising drive going on, and we gotta do all this. We gotta raise this money. We gotta get these. I think in their case they raised like $2 million or something to hire reporters, and then I think they hired them, and then maybe that's when all the union stuff went down, and then they went. I'm not fresh on that story. I kind of heard it, through whispers in the wind, but yeah, just there's the old saying, follow the money. Yeah, follow the money with these fools. See who's paying them, see who's backing them, and then you see why they don't peddle the Joe Biden, no, you can't do this, we're not going to be able to do this. They make it sneaky. They make it sneaky where it's like, hey guys, look, man, we smoke grass too. We're cool. What is that meme? The hello, fellow students. Yeah. But at the same time, when you talk about like economics, then they're like, oh, no, we gotta slow that down, buddy. We don't have time for that shit. We don't have time for incrementalism. So anyway, all I'm saying is there is great independent media out there that maybe some people say, well, like Sam Cedar and TYT and these folks have shit on. It's kind of like, the government tells you something's bad. Chances these days, you might have a 50-50 shot it's actually good. And it's all right. I knew it was going to be that kind of night. I have no idea how long I was, the stream was down. So apparently, I think that's somebody saying, all right, wrap it up. Long story short, check out indie media. A lot of good folks out there. Mainstream media is dead. Its legacy. It's like having a 5 1/4 floppy drive. I mean, what the hell's the actual point? Anyway, what I want to get to here now is what is going on with unemployment. Let me get to the chat here first. I should probably have fixed this a little better. So, Lucky Burrito, thank you. We gotta promote you and get the word out about your channel. That would be very nice. Yeah, I don't like to, like ask people. I mean, everybody's got their own style. They do their own thing. And I mean, I'm just one of these people. Treat me like whatever. If you like the video, you click thumbs up. And if you feel like sharing it, if you think it's good enough to be shared with people you trust, cool. That's how I'm in. If you don't, you hit the thumbs down. You don't like it. That's cool too. I ain't trying to like twist nobody's opinion over here, but I appreciate you, brother. Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate y'all in the chat. So let's get to this. We're gonna get over here. Hopefully this thing is still up. Ha. No, it is not. Let's see. Maybe it is over here. There we are. So that's what's going on. Actually, this is the right one right here. So, Montana and Republican states ending federal unemployment benefits. So the big hullabaloo in these states, I think there's like 20-something states that have started. Some of them have started doing it, and then and others will follow suit here shortly, including my fun state of Mississippi. Yeah, because I've been on unemployment down there, and it's not that much. So nobody was getting rich on unemployment. Anywho, this is from Case Study QB. You've probably seen him on some other news shows and stuff on the internet. If you're, give him a like and a follow on YouTube and on Twitter. But let's watch this. This is a couple of minutes. And hopefully, first, we're going to do this. We're doing it live. Fuck it. All right. Let's see how this works.
With just days to go until Montana's summer tourist season kicks off, the skeleton crew at this hotel is already exhausted.
Come find me and we'll probably just leave those rooms for tomorrow.
Working extra hours because of staff shortages.
You're trying to do 26 rooms in a day.
Joshua Dempsey believes people don't want to return to work because wages for jobs like this don't equal what pandemic unemployment pays.
I make $800, $900 every 2 weeks. And like my friend gets like $800 a week. So like she doesn't want to work when she's making what I make in 2 weeks in a week. And
not working at all.
Not working at all.
Signs of a low-wage worker shortage are up across Montana. More jobs than employees, especially low-wage positions. Businesses here now offer signing bonuses and $15 an hour starting pay, nearly twice the state's minimum wage.
Unemployment benefits should be a safety net, not a career choice.
This month, Republican Governor Greg Gianforte announced Montana will opt out of all federal pandemic unemployment benefit programs, including an extra $300 per week supplement.
We're going to incent work, not staying home.
Instead, Montanans will receive a $1,200 bonus if they get and keep a job for at least 4 weeks.
That was kind of a huge relief for me.
At least 7 jobs at this hotel are vacant, says General Manager Anne-Marie Bowers.
I anticipate and really hope that that will mean more people will be applying.
Montana is not the only state. Most Republican governors in the country have promised to eliminate one or more federal pandemic programs for the unemployed. But not all are able to return to the workforce right away.
First of all, I'm not lazy. I'm a full-time single mother.
Lacey Colon says she had never planned to be home full-time.
I was working in the mornings when she was at school, and then when COVID hit, it just changed everything.
Her daughter Juliana has sensory issues and can't wear the required mask for school. So the former hospitality worker has been collecting unemployment in order to be here.
Battles in history.
Homeschooling.
To punctuate.
Since the pandemic began.
There we go.
Pandemic unemployment benefits have allowed mother and daughter to stay in their home.
I'm going to be really scared. I already am. I don't sleep at night. I guess I got to figure it out like everybody else is going to have to figure it out.
I live at a hotel right now.
Colon fears that will be her future.
Young Law, CNN, Bozeman, Montana.
All right, so yeah, so that's the setup, right? So you have these states that basically saying that you lazy good for nothings getting the king's ransom off the government teat, which we all know is ridiculous. But that was the big argument, that all these people, there's nobody to take these jobs because they're making more on unemployment. You take that away and they'll be running for these jobs, right? So I was going to show you that first, but let me show you this one first real quick. You'll get a little chuckle out of this. So this is from Fox Business, right? So we'll get these clowns out of the way. Job searches spiked in states cutting unemployment benefits, analysis shows. So you're like, all right, so here we go. See, it worked. These good for nothings got off the damn couch and, anyway, so let's scroll down here. But what they tend to bury the lead in this. Let's see, where was this? Oh yeah, in the comment section. Oh, that was like going to a Mensa Club meeting right there. Anyway, so where was that? There we go. So right here where it says, but there was let's see, wait a minute. Here's the actual meat of it. It starts here. Sorry, folks. I'm not used to reading on the internets. Job search activity rose by 5% the day each state announced its plan to cut off the sweetened aid. The sweetened aid. I think that was like some sort of like 70s Kool-Aid ripoff, wasn't it? It was like root Kool-Aid ripoff and put sugar. That's some random shit. Don't listen to me. So each state announced its plan to cut off the sweetened aid, according to Indeed data. Now, Indeed is, I believe, it's a job search engine on the internet. It's like Monster and stuff like that. So it's a job search thing. A broad range of sectors saw search activity climb, but the increment job search activity in the states had returned to its April levels. Oh, really? This from CNBC. Cutting off unemployment benefits early is not pushing people to find work, data suggests. Here we go. 25 states are ending federal unemployment benefits, including an extra $300 a week. Some of them are ending the federal, but are still keeping the state. Some of them are cutting the whole thing out. So over the past 2 weeks, a dozen states have already done this. Yet job searches are muted in those states, according to an analysis from Indeed. So, yeah, so it was kind of funny how it's kind of funny how Fox News said, see it jump. It worked for 8 days. And then the only thing that went up after that was it went tits up. And that means it went down. So, anywho, job hunting has been, let's go up here. Yeah. So job hunting has been muted in 12 states that opted out of federal unemployment programs in recent weeks, suggesting the policy may not be working as planned, according to a new analysis by job site Indeed. The states ended the pandemic era benefits, including an extra $300 a week, about 3 months ahead of their September 6th expiration. So it's in these 25 states, and they're all according to the analysis published Tuesday. And my neighbors are very noisy. I apologize for that. Apparently, they all have Fonzie cars. I call those loud ones Fonzie cars. Yeah. So, I think there was, what was this? There was from case study, I believe, too. Larger employers that are struggling to find employees because people are reevaluating their lives. They would rather work at home for themselves. That's the No Shit Sherlock Award going to this little thing. Let's watch this.
Despite the bad economic downturn caused by the pandemic, 2020 was a record year for small businesses. And so boosted by the stimulus support provided by the government, boosted by the Federal Reserve policies and bank lending, we're looking at another great year for small businesses. I think a big comparison that folks we're talking to are looking at is versus the financial crisis, which was brutal for small businesses. It took years for those to come back. The economic conditions are much different now. The physical and political conditions are much different now. It's also easier to start a small business. Like we're a long way away 10 years ago, sort of what you could do on the internet starting a small business. So a lot of people are looking for a boom in entrepreneurialism coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, too, it's in the cases of many of these larger employers that are struggling to find employees because people are reevaluating their lives, perhaps.
Exactly. Maybe I'd rather work at home for myself instead of working at a fast food place or a retail store.
Right? All right. Well, Axios' Nicholas Johnson.
Despite the bad economic downturn caused by the...
Yeah, that's like saying, you know what, I'd rather work from home than get my scrotum nailed to a rusty piece of metal and then shipped out to sea to be later eaten by sharks. Yes, I'd much rather do that. Hey, Black Bruce Wayne in the house. Christopher Neal, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us in the cocktail lounge, I like to call this. We have all kinds of stuff. I'm going to go on a tangent. I got to get back to this. We'll get back to it. So anyway, now this is from Business Insider. Job searchers are down in states cutting federal unemployment benefits early. Not what you'd expect to see from a disincentive to work. Dun, dun, dun. Wow, turns out people don't want to work shitty jobs and actually have a little bit of power and are basically calling the shots for themselves. How about that, you know? You know, it's like if you had a band of people, I don't know, maybe a squad of people that were like somehow involved with the government, you know, that could, you know, maybe cause a ruckus and, you know, come together and, you know, kind of like what's going on with people, what actual people are doing now, as opposed to what these fake motherfuckers are doing in Washington. People just said, no, you know what? They probably some of them, they probably saved that stimulus money that Trump and Biden, you know, wrote checks for. If they were getting that extra unemployment, they probably squirreled a lot of that away too. You know, I'm pretty sure they spent a lot in their community. You know, they put a lot of it back into the economy, but you know, it's like the dude said, you know, ironically, in a pandemic, this was the best time to start your own thing, you know, because you actually had some little bit of financial confidence that you could do that. You know, I did this with you know, all this stuff that I got here. You know, I bought a computer, parts, and built this computer and everything because this is what I wanted to do. But when I was working that shit job that was killing me with stress and low pay and no respect for worker integrity or anything like that, you know. And then after all the unnecessary money that was being taken out of, you know, people like what I was making was getting, you know, it's, you know, why wouldn't you want to start your own thing? I encourage people to start their own thing. If they have the financial means to do it, you know, it's just me. I got no kids. I'm not married. You know, my old lady, I say old lady because I'm her old man. So, you know, fair's fair. You know, she flies under the radar and she does her own thing, you know. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Wow, I love the set. So professional and clean. You look great. Oh, thanks. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. So, anyway, back to this. It turns out, you know, the whole governors wanting to shut this down and get these workers back to work, you know. They may have a little bit more of an incentive. GOP governors are cutting unemployment aid. Some have ties to businesses that may benefit. Oh, really? You think? Look at that. Look at the look on this guy's face. Let me see. This guy. I don't know if I can do it, but this guy right here. Who is this? This is Jim Justice. That sounds like a Smokey and the Bandit character, doesn't it? Because it was a Buford T. Justice, right? Buford T. Justice, maybe that's his brother. I'm going to barbecue your ass in molasses. That was such a great movie, man. Smokey and the Bandit. Anyway, back to this shit. He kind of looks like a gray-haired Chris Christie. He's like Chris Christie from the future came back to the past to become governor of West Virginia. When West Virginia Governor Jim Justice announced his decision last month to cut federal unemployment benefits for his state's jobless residents, he pointed to what he said was a plethora of openings for those who needed work. I'm going to try to do this in West Virginia accent. West Virginians have access to thousands of jobs right now. We need everybody back to work, he said on May 14th. We got to have you back to work. America is all about work. That's what has made this country great. What JJ fails to realize that, this hard work made this country great, but it was slave labor that was the hard work. So an aside, but still, let's point that out. Anyway. Justice didn't need to look far for examples of companies struggling to hire workers. The storied West Virginia resort he owns, the Greenbrier, has been looking for dozens of new employees in recent weeks and until recently had received far fewer applications than normal. But after Justice announced his decision, that started to change. Said Kathy Miller, Vice President of Human Resources at the luxury hotel. Yeah. So, yeah, some bullshit she said. Republican governors in 25 states are in the midst of a giant economic experiment ceasing enhanced jobless aid for an estimated 4 million people. Yeah, so, sorry, technical difficulties. The bugaboos are trying to get me out of here tonight, but let me finish this up. I know these governors have personal connections to businesses that are trying to find workers and could benefit from the policy change. That's according to, this is all from the Washington Post, by the way, so let's look at New Hampshire. The governor's family invests in a large resort that has many employees. In North Dakota, the governor sits on the board of a family agricultural business that is seeking to fill numerous jobs, including posts for truck drivers and technicians. Mississippi's governor, Tate Reeves, or as I like to call him, Tater, is a shareholder in his father's air conditioning and supply firm. These are among the many governors who have taken steps to cut expanded jobless aid in recent weeks. Yada, yada, yada. Democracy dies in darkness, whatever. All right. So once again, these people are getting played. These Republican governors don't give a shit. Why would they oppose federal money, right? Why would you oppose free money? I know southern states that go through hurricanes, and, it's like, it's all about state sovereignty till a hurricane hits, right? And then the hurricane hits, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, federal government, y'all gonna send some money and some aid and some this and some, and yeah, the government's screwed up. Especially during Katrina, that was one of the biggest fuck ups ever. But still, states' rights, our sovereignty. Don't tread on me. Hurricane's coming. Oh shit, y'all get that checkbook, right? It's not funny, but it is true that's what's going on, and that's what these governors are doing. They're doing the same thing. They're like, oh man, we got to get cheap labor back in our place, and it's not just their places either. I mean, I'm pretty sure what all this fails to mention is the governor's buddies. They're all business owners. I'm sure, their businesses are hurting. So you got to get these people back. It's not just one person. You got to look, you got to pull back and you got to look at the big picture. It's not one dude. It's always a cluster. That's why they call it a clusterfuck, because there's always a cluster and it's always fucked. All right. How we doing on time? I really want to apologize. I keep noticing that the stream keeps dipping in and out. I don't know what's going on. I live in Brooklyn. I believe Sam Cedar's probably outside with some wire cutters trying to cut through my cable because I'm talking shit about him. I do live in Brooklyn. I don't know where Sam Cedar lives. I think he lives in an area called Park Slope, and that's where, some of us call it Prick Slope. It's where. Anyway, yeah. So I apologize for that. And I thank everybody for coming in. Hey, we got 5 viewers right now. Appreciate you watching. And if you can't make the stream, you got to duck out or something. Don't worry. This is going to be up live. I hope so. I'm probably going to have to, it's probably going to be in pieces. I'll have to download it and put it together, but I'll fix this shit. I ain't going to leave no garbage for y'all. Y'all pay top dollar to come watch me, and by top dollar I mean whatever electricity you're using right now to power your device that you're watching this on right now. So I really appreciate it. And when we come back, we're gonna have some funsies. I gotta take a leak and a little smoky treat for daddy, so y'all do the same, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. Sorry for all the whiteness. I've got this light this ring light. Hello. I got this ring light, and still trying to figure it out. I keep noticing that I got these shadows under my eyes, like it was like some, only the shadow knows, and so I got some toilet paper and I wrapped it around the ring light to try to diffuse the light, and I'm still pretty shiny. I don't want to get to the point where I got to put powder on my face because. I mean, it had nothing to do with masculinity or anything like that. I had a bad incident with some, what was this shit? Hang on a second. Oh, yeah, that's right. I live like in a little camper. Everything's within arm's reach. I love places like that. The Gold Bond powder, which is great. But that shit gets all over the place. And I put some on when it was really hot because I don't have an AC here in the apartment. And oh, thanks, Lucky. Use some parchment paper to filter the light. Yeah, this is just a temporary fix. I got to go scope some out and get some of that around here. So this show, just like me, a work in progress, as always. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Warren in his tiny podcasting PA. I know, right? I make it look like I'm up in my penthouse apartment, when right behind me is just a green sheet, and literally about 4 feet in where I point. I am Locutus of Borg. Where I point, it's probably about another like 5 or 6 feet. So this is, if you've ever seen the movie, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I know this is very unprofessional. I don't want to give it away yet because this might actually be a funny thing. Where he is? No, I want this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so basically that's the size of my apartment. It's kind of a boarding house situation. You know, I pay by the week. There's no lease or anything. And my landlord is very cool. He looks like Richard Harris. He looks like Richard Harris, and he sounds like what's his name? Larry King. So just think of Richard Harris with that long gray hair, and then blah, 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 blah. So he was that guy. Anyway, enough of those shenanigans. I like for people to know the references. All these youngsters out here saying, this old guy's talking some shit. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You and me both, brother. We are just out here trying to make it. Where was it? There was a perfect picture of him. They look just like the dude. Actually, he looks like him. Yeah, there we go. So this is what my landlord looks like. He looks like this, and now think, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Good morning. You're on Larry King Live. So there you go. So that was a long way for a bit that I know was pretty much not going to pay off. But that being said, this is why I like to have guests on the show, because, if I got to row this boat by itself, man, it's going to go some crazy places. That Blue Sheet. That is such a great movie. If you've never seen the Blues Brothers, do yourself a favor. It's got great music in it too. I don't hate on people that like musicals. You like musicals, that's fine. That floats your boat. I think music is one of the most influencing forces in the universe. It can bring us to dance. It can drive us to tears. It's very powerful. So, and people who like musicals, they probably get some of that same shit out of it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't personally like musicals, but I do like the Blues Brothers, and I guess it's considered a musical because there is a lot of music numbers in it. But it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I cannot recommend that enough. Speaking of movies, in a little bit we're going to be talking about Highlander and a possible reboot. Let's reboot Jesus while you're at it. All right, it's a bit much. Anyway, I'm wearing this shirt too. Also, no small children. My lady friend and I discovered them. We were watching the Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore. And in the end credits, there was a song playing. It was kick-ass rock and roll. I'm big into like old school, like classic rock and stuff like that. And then when you hear like newer bands just like kicking ass, you got to give them a shout out. So No Small Children. We saw them at the Bowery Electric a couple years ago before, Big C hit. And there really is some kick-ass tunes. I can't play any of it because I think it's copyright. And I asked them if I could play some, but they haven't responded. So anyway, great band. I believe there are 3 teachers out of California, I believe. San Diego, maybe. But it's kick-ass stuff. It's really good. Just think Heart from when, like Barracuda days. Buddy Jesus. Dogma. Anyway, so let's not prolong this agony too much. We got some more commercials, sponsors. I got my time machine. Apparently, my time machine only goes to back in time to places where I can absolutely not fuck with the space-time continuum. And no matter what I do. So I'm always sent back to like the early 90s. And I found sponsors for the show. Like I said, last week we had sponsors. And one of them turned out to be a murderer. And that was not cool. But this week, hopefully, hopefully they'll behave themselves. Because we really need the money, even though it's in time machine money, Glavin.
You probably thought this deer was alive, and this coyote was alive, and this pheasant was alive. Nope, they're not. They're dead. They've been taxidermized by Chuck Testa. Ojai Valley Taxidermy. I specialize in the most lifelike dead animals anywhere, period.
Look at that antelope driving a car.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa.
Oh no, there's a bear in my bed.
Nope, Chuck Testa.
Hold on a second. There's a leopard feeding on an impala out on my deck.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa with another realistic mount. Shipped to me from anywhere. Call Chuck Testa for the most lifelike dead animals around, period.
Did that rhino just order a drink?
Nope.
Chuck Testa does not taxidermize pets.
Hi, folks, I'm Frankie Flight. I want you to check out Hoot Wireless, next to Subway, Equipment Highway, right here in Motor. Tell your family, friends, and neighbors to come in and check us out. Check out all our plans. That and much more. Hoot Wireless. Hoot Wireless.
Hi, Lady Jock. Come in and check out Julio. He'll hook you up right here. Hoot
Wireless. Hoot Wireless. Hoot Wireless.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is Julio with Hoot Wireless. Come and check us out. We got anything you need as far as wireless goes.
Hoot Wireless. Don't forget to check out Hoot Wireless, next to Subway, Equipment Highway, right here in Motor. Hoot Wireless.
Scream!
My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
687-1660. 1660.
insurance on this car?
No.
It must be Eagle Man.
I've got something for you.
Oh, look at those low rates.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars.
bad deal.
Cars that break down.
Thieves.
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
You can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker.
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed.
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass.
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass.
Bring your tray.
Bring your title.
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her.
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing.
That's right.
Challenge pissing.
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait.
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off.
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off.
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check.
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell.
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest.
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
Guaranteed.
We've got what you're looking for. TV 20.
Okay. I looked down and it said it had quit streaming, which was kind of good, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't like this. This first night we've had this where this has happened. I'm glad I didn't have a guest on tonight for all this happening. And once again, I pride myself on quality control. I'm an IT technician, you know, and I'm also a communications expert. So, you know, when shit goes down like that, man, it's no good. Plus, I just took a Rip Van Tinkle pee-pee. I was like, man, is this going to end? How much did I drink? You know. Anyway, TMI, I'm pretty sure. So we're about to close out this train wreck. Pretty sure here in a little bit. So they're thinking about rebooting Highlander. And I just got to tell you a little backstory. I saw it in '86. I didn't see it in the theater, but a friend of mine had it. And back in rural Mississippi in the '80s, somebody would go get a movie at, you know, the Blockbuster type place that was, you know, some mom and pop. And then they'd have a movie night and all your friends would come over. And depending on the movie, like if it was cool action and stuff like that, you know, it was like a mixed bag of dudes mostly, some chicks. And then, but, you know, if it was... Okay. So, anyway, I was a big Queen fan anyway. And then I heard that soundtrack and I was like, holy shit. It was just like Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon was awesome. I mean, it's a shit movie, but it's so bad it's good. And then the music, it's Queen, you know. Queen makes everything better. You know what I mean? So anyway, and now I live in New York, and I've been to the Silver Cup Studios, where the big the big billboard is, and with the lights and stuff, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's almost like like if I were religious, that would be one of my little religious temples I'd go to, is Silver Cup Studios in Long Island City, in Queens, New York. But anyway, and I really love that movie. And then a buddy of mine traveled 2.5 hours to see the sequel, because that was the closest place it was playing. And I think that was a sign. I think whatever's beings that run this universe said, okay, look, dude, you're going to have to travel 2.5 hours for this. And we said, yeah, well, it's Highlander, man. The first one was just like, great, we got to see what they're going to do with the second one. We sat there and watched that hot garbage, and I felt like Malcolm McDowell from Clockwork Orange, where just like the eyes were, just the eyes. Anyway, Peepaw, we dug him up again. We got one more of his that we got to get out of the way, because he's always talking shit. And he talks about the Highlander, and he tells us the story. Here we go.
Peepaw, Peepaw, welcome to Peepaw's house.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Peepaw's house. Last time you was here, you heard the story about Aquaman. He's cool. Likes to swim around in the water, beat up the bad guys. He's an awesome feller. Now this week, I got another story for you. It's about this feller. He can't die unless you chop off his head. That sounds kind of weird, but it's true. His name is the Highlander, and he lived a long time ago, and he's still living because he's the Highlander, and the Highlander lives forever, unless you chop off his head. Now, I tell you what, you bust up in a Pawpaw's house, I'm going to chop off your head, unless I know you. And even if I do know you, sometimes you ain't safe. But it's okay. Peepaw took some of his medicine this morning. Just made some corn mash. Delicious. Highly recommend it on a cold winter/spring day. So let me tell you about this feller. See, back in the mid-'80s, this feller, he made this documentary. It's called The Highlander. It was a documentary because this dude's real. He's for reals. He lived a long time ago, back 1500s. They didn't have cameras back in those days. So in the 80s, this guy had to make up some stuff. So basically what he did, he got this French feller to play a Scottish dude. And then later on in the story, they get this Scottish dude to play a Spanish dude. And of course, because that works, must have been budget. They figured they could get that French dude on the cheap. And then the Scottish dude's like, I don't want to be no Scottish dude. I want to play somebody else. And they said, all right, well, you're Scottish. You kind of fit. We can get a Spanish dude to do it. And he said, no, I won't do it. And they said, all right, you can do it. So anyway, it starts off here with this feller named Connor McLeod. He's this young feller. He don't know what's going on. He's just, he's chasing pussy and, just having a good time drinking with his buddies. And, they're always fighting with these other people. And these other people, bunch of jerks. They must be because, our dude is the hero of the story. So his people must be alright. And these other fools must be just a bunch of assholes. So what happens is, he's up in there in this battle. Ain't nobody wants to fight him. He's like, come on, fight me. Come on. I'll put my damn foot up your ass. And they're like, no. We don't want none of that. We don't want none of that. And he's like, well, all right, well, I'll still kill you. You ain't gonna kill me, I'm gonna kill you. That's the way we gonna do it. But then all of a sudden, this big-ass feller comes around. He's the Kurgan. He's this big, giant fool. He comes up off there on his horse, with thunderbolts and lightning and all this kind of crap's going on, and old Connor McLeod's like, what the hell's this guy doing? I bet he'll want to fight. And sure enough, that big fella said, yeah, I'm gonna kick your damn ass. And Connor said, all right, we'll see. So Connor's about to whoop his ass, and then all of a sudden this big fella brings out this sword. It's about 9-10 feet long, sticks it right in his belly. And Connor's like, well, shit. I guess that's it for me. Later on, he's laying up in the bed, you know, and he's got all these bandages on him, and the woman's crying, and all his buddies around him just like, man, why? That's his friend. That's also his kinfolk, too. But just like anybody else's kinfolk, sometimes they're going to turn on you, and you'll see that in a second. So he's laying up in the bed. This woman's crying, and this old dude comes up and says, get out of here, bitch, man. You won't hear no woman crying up in here. He wants to go out like in a blaze of glory, man. You know, 6-pack in his hand, you know, watch NASCAR, you know, watch Junior go around the track. But he don't die. They're like, well, what the hell's up with this shit? So he comes up in there, and the next day, he's up in there, people drinking and stuff. They're all like, man, what the hell's going on here? This dude didn't die. That dude got about a 9-10 foot sword stuck up in his belly, and he still ain't dead. There's demons. Demons, I tell you. But he's like, man, ain't no demons. It's just, me. I don't know what happened. Shit, it's just shit. Ain't you glad I'm alive? Ain't that a good thing? And they're like, well, I don't know about that. And he's like, well, fuck you too, man. I wish you would have died, then you're going to be like that. And they're like, no, we ain't wish you going to die, but, you know, the way you living, I don't think it's right, man. You know, might be some demons going up in there. So he's like, well, fuck all y'all. And then they said, well, fuck you too. And so they go to whooping his ass, man. They put him on this big yoke thing looking, and he's walking around there whooping his ass. And, you know, and then his buddy Angus comes up to him and says, hey, dude, these people going to whoop your damn ass, and they ain't going to stop. You might as well get the hell out of here. He said, all right, I ain't going to forget you. And he's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. So he takes off, and then somehow later on he finds this real cute chick. She's pretty nice, too. Cleans the dishes for him, washes his clothes, you know, give him a little nookie every once in a while, and you know, he's all about that. Then all of a sudden this fucker shows up in his horse and he's, oh shit, it's that dude again. But no, it's this guy all dressed up in a hat and got a feather on, looks like a pimp. And he comes along and he says, hey Highlander. He says, hey Highlander, I'm Juan Sanchez Ramirez Villalobos. I'm at your service. And you know Highlander's thinking, what, you're Spanish, but you sound like Sean Connery. And that dude, we know he's Scottish. He said, all right, whatever. You know, because, you know, Sean Connery's going, well, you're Scottish, but you sound like some frog that jumped out the pond over there in France. He's like, all right, touche, because, you know, he's French. So he said, man, I got to train you up, because, man, that fucker stuck that stick up in you, man. He's going to chop your head off. He said, well, let some bitch come on. I'll whoop his damn ass. I said, nah, you ain't going to whoop his damn ass now, but you will after I train you. And Highlander said, all right. So they get to training and stuff. Then they become buddies. They're old pals. This French dude and this Scottish dude who's really a Scottish dude and a Spanish dude. Suspend your disbelief. So finally later on they said, well, you got to go up there to this big city because that's where everybody's heading. And he said, all right. So his buddy gets killed because old big dude comes along with the lightning bolts, cuts his head off, messes with his woman. He don't know. So he's living with this old lady for about 100 years. And she's like, you got to go on. He's like, no, baby. He said, I wish I was like you. And she said, no. She said, I wish I could give you some babies. And he's like, yeah, that's all right, but, you know, you're cool. I made you some boots. That's going to make up for it. So long story short, he ends up back in New York City, in this big city. So he's in this big city. All his buddies show up. There's this dude, that black feller. They like to drink. They talk about drinking and stuff. And there's the other dude. He meets him in a parking lot, and that's not really his buddy because the dude's trying to kill him. He gets killed, the dude in the parking lot, the drinking buddy gets killed, and it's just pretty much left him and that big giant fella with the big sword. Only this time he done shaved his head. He don't nobody. He looked like that dude from Midnight Oil. They up in the church, and you know that old big dude Kerrigan. He's all blaspheming and making fun of the nuns and stuff. And then he tells them what they did to that his old lady, and oh boy, that's when Hunter's like, yeah. You done stepped in some shit now, mister. And Kerrigan said, all right, we'll see. But he said, we can't do it here. This is holy ground, Highlander. Remember what Ramirez taught you. He still wanted to whip his ass. I don't blame him. This whole time, Highlander done mess with this girl to work for the police. And they're all friendly and shit. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man, you know. He said, I don't know if you want to stick around with me or not. He said, you know, I can't die. I'm 400 years old. She's like, yeah, right, I've heard that before. So then he sticks himself in the belly with a knife, and he doesn't die. She's like, oh shit, well, we got to get to fucking. Well, they do. They have them some sex after that. But then the old big dude comes along and says, hey, I'm going to take this girl away from you. And Highlander's like, oh, hell no, you ain't. But he does. He takes her, and he takes her up top of this building. And he said, come on. You want to get her? You come on. We're going to finish this. And Highlander says, yeah, all right, we'll do this. So he gets up there, and they get to fighting. And she's all wailing and screaming, just like, help me, help me. Highlander / Connor. And he's all trying to do his business, you know, and then there's water everywhere. I don't know where the hell the damn water tower burst. And then there's lightning bolts because it's old dude. And old dude's all about them lightning bolts. And they crash through the roof. And then they're fighting again. And finally, old Highlander says, I done had enough of this shit. And then he goes into the locker room, changes into the Super Globetrotters. And then he gets all Billy Badass. And then cuts off dude's head, and then, like, all the shit starts coming out of him, like this fountain of light comes out of his neck. And then there's, like, all these cartoon ghosts and shit rolling around, and he's all like, you know, he's all going, like he done got him a happy ending over there at that Thai massage parlor. And so he's like, you know, I'm everything, I'm all this, you know, he starts getting a big head. But his big catchphrase,
there can be only one.
Just like Peepaw, there can be only one. So you think that's the end of the story, right? You know, he gets the prize. And the prize is all this knowledge and stuff. And he learns all about the world. And he says he can help people and all that. And he can be mortal. He can grow old. He can die. And then he can have babies with the old lady. You know, happy ending. But no, you'd think that'd be it. But no. And these other documentaries I like to talk about. In these other documentaries to follow, apparently there's another planet full of these fools, and then he makes this big shield, and then Sonny Spoon shows up, and then there's like a cousin, and it's like when they added that little kid on the Brady Bunch. When they had that kid on the Brady Bunch, that was it. You know, it done fucked up the whole show. But anyway, that's the story of the Highlander. I hope you enjoyed it. There can be only one.
Peepaw, Peepaw, welcome to Peepaw's house.
All right, well, we're having some technical difficulty. I don't think it's anything on my end. I think it's Brooklyn cable. I don't have the cable. I'll just have the internet. Spectrum. Same one Jimmy has out in Cali. Yeah, Spectrum. Good stuff. I can't recommend them. All right. Finally, thanks, Steve, for the Peepaws. That's the last one. There will be no more Peepaws unless more are made, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the commercials. Sorry I didn't have a guest this week. I was kind of, I was thinking about Monday, and I asked a couple of folks. I wanted to get a lady on here because, I mean, like the last 3 shows I've done, it's all dudes. All old dudes. I mean, they're cool dudes, you know. We're all old and cool. But, I'd like to get a lady's perspective on here. I don't care. She be young, old. I don't care what color she is, where she comes from. You know, somebody interesting, another voice. And, and hopefully I don't scare her, or anybody. I don't care what you are. Motherfuckers. I hate Spectrum. But I love you. I love every one of you. I don't have hate in my heart for people. It's just inanimate objects and corporations. Yeah. So anyway, thanks to all you for showing up here. Christopher Neal, Steve Cutler Live, Lucky Burrito, Mariana, and anybody I missed. So thank you for showing up. We're going to do this again next week, hopefully. Next week, Citizen Shane will screen that. It'll be an hour, and hopefully we'll have some folks in here to talk about it. And hopefully the internet won't crap out. Yeah, it's like, I think my internet's saying, get a guest next time, asshole. We're trying to send you a message. But thank you to everybody. Have a great night. If you're on the East Coast, enjoy the weather for now. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hot as grilled cheese sandwiches coming pretty soon. So stay safe. I love every one of y'all. And, if you can do something good for somebody, even a little bit helps. God love all y'all. Have a good one.